Hi, Kathleen. I took your question here, and after I answered it, I thought I maybe put a quick video together in my dev.org, and I created approximately what you want, just to show you how it works. It's not too difficult. So in my dev.org, you can see I have no leads at this time. Oh, I have some leads, but you will see what I am going to do. So on an account, I've created a test account, and I created a custom button, CloneAccountToLead, and you see that the account name is test account. I have a billing address filled in, a website and a phone, and I'm gonna click on CloneAccountToLead. It's gonna launch a visual flow, and it will create a lead for me. So if I look in leads now, recent leads, I see the test account. So the lead has been created with the fields of the account filled in, which I stipulated in the flow. So when we have a look at the flow itself, or how you can build this, you go to flow, workflows. This is the flow I created. So you do new flow and you create it. So I'm gonna open it to show you what it is. It's really small. It just has one parameter I created first. So I go to resources and I click on a variable, double click variable, and you give it a name, and you set it as text and input only. This is to get the account ID from which we click the button. So you will see here in the resources now, I have that variable here, get account ID. I already created it before this video. So get account ID, I called it, text input only. So first you do this, you create a variable, call it whatever you want, but know that it is to capture the ID that you will pass through the button. Then you go to resources and to the palette, and you drag the fast lookup onto the screen just like this. I'm not gonna do it because it's already there. And when you drag it to the screen, I will open it, give it a name. So this fast lookup will look up the account itself with the past ID, so we can query the fields we need to populate the lead with. So I call that query the past in account. It's a lookup on object account, and we want, the query says lookup account where the ID equals the get account ID, so the ID that we will receive when we click on the button. And when you find this account and all of its fields, well, I want you to call it the account. And so you can go here and you say create new as object variable, because we receive an object, an account object, and I call it the account. And from the account I want to capture the name, the billing city, the country, the street, the postal code, the website, and the phone. That's all. I click OK, and when this is created, I create from the palette a record create. Just drag and drop it and it will open automatically, and in that I called it create lead, and we say create which type of object we want to create a lead, and then you just assign the variables to the fields of the lead. So the lead field here, city, I want it to be set with the billing city of the account that we have queried in the previous step. So you can find those fields here as object variables that we have saved, the account, and then you do billing city, and just assign the fields you need to populate your lead. And here under you can assign the record ID. Once it's created, you will receive back the ID of the lead you created. You can assign this as a variable also, just call it lead ID. And then you click OK. Once you did that, you will find on the fast lookup, you will have a little green arrow. Click on this, because this is your start element. When you click the button, you pass the ID of the account from which you click the button through the flow URL, it comes into the flow, and this is the first element that has to take place. So this is your start element. And when he did the lookup, you connect with an arrow, and you can delete this. You make a connection between those two, because if there is not a connection, he will do this and it stops. So you don't want it to stop. You want to create a process, create a flow. So you connect those two, and this is the end. After the lead is created, it's done. So you save that, save, and give it a flow name, and be sure to activate it. So I'm going to close the flow designer now. Now it's already active, so I can only deactivate it. But once you created the flow, make sure you click here on activate, so your flow is active and that your status here is active. So once you created the flow, you copy this URL. This is your flow URL, which you will call from the button, and you go to customize accounts, buttons, links and actions, and you create a new button or link. I already did this, it's here. So create new button or link, and we will take this one and give it a name. This is the label which your button will show. You put it on a detailed page button, display in a new window, so it will open, it will run your flow, and then it will say flow is finished, and you can close the window again. You set the content source to a URL, and you paste the URL your flow URL which we just copied, and then this is the variable we created in the flow to capture the account ID on which we are. So you put a question mark after your flow URL, and then get account ID equals, and then the merge field from here, account ID. So that's this one. Then account ID. You can check the syntax and then save it. And once you did that, you created that, you go to your page layout of your account. So you go to account, open a test account or whatever account, go to edit layout, and then on your layout on buttons, you will find the clone account to lead button you just created. And you can drag and drop it to custom buttons, and you save the layout, and then you test your flow. So on your account, click the button, new window will open, flow finished if there are no errors, if you did everything right. And once that's done, go to leads, and recent leads we have 2 now. When I go back to accounts, I click another time, up, clone no lead, up, done, and we go to leads, and we have 3. So it works. So hope this helps, and have fun with it.